Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Overwatch Weekly. Not a ton of stories this week, but there are some that are pretty big that I want to cover. So let's just jump right into our first thing, which is a new PTR patch, which had a ton of changes to a bunch of different things, and it added a new feature. So obviously, this is a PTR patch, which means it is only available currently on PC on the public test region. But let's talk about what this PTR patch adds. The first thing is a new feature, which is replays. And here they say, experience your past Overwatch games from a whole new perspective with replays. Replays allows you to watch your 10 most recent matches from any vantage point. Whether you want a first person, third person, or bird's eye view, you can see it all with this tool. Hone your strategies by slowing down or speeding up the game to see how exactly a critical moment played out. Get a better view of the action from above, or even turn off the UI completely. They have a further news thing that goes deeper into replays in general that is linked there, and that will show you how to access it. You access it under your career profile, under the replays tab, which is a new tab in between statistics and achievements, and it'll show you the games. It'll show you the types of games, if it was quick play, competitive, arcade, AI, custom, whatever. It'll show you those on the left side. It'll show you the result. It'll show you how long the match was. It'll show you when you played it. It'll show you everything you need to know about the game. This shows you, of course, all of your different keyboard shortcuts, how you watch. In general, the way you watch is the same way that you would watch an Overwatch League match, the way that the Overwatch League spectating works. So when you're watching the stream, the top-down view, all that kind of stuff that they get, that is essentially what you can do in this replays system. It's a very nice-looking system. It is something I'm very excited to see hit the live servers. I'm excited to see how it works. There's currently no way to share replays. Replays are currently only individualized, so only you can view your replays. But Jeff Kaplan did mention that they are looking into ways to try to make replays shareable, but at the moment they have not figured out how to do so. So that is replays. That is only, though, a part of this PTR patch. We also have some hero updates. The first one is Baptiste, who had his biotic launcher heal ammo increased from 10 to 12, and the amplification matrix duration increased from 8 seconds to 10 seconds. For Diva, her defense matrix had its length reduced from 15 meters to 10 meters. It also has a new visual look. They don't mention that. It's still very similar, but I think it's actually a little bit clearer. It's a little bit easier to tell where it is. So I think that's pretty nice. With McCree, his Peacekeeper recovery was reduced from half a second to 4 seconds. Sorry, 0.4 seconds for his primary fire. So he now shoots 0.1 second faster, and you can see it. You can definitely see it when you look at the footage side by side, and you can feel it. It is much faster now. For Orisa, her protective barrier can now be deployed without interrupting reload, which is amazing. Symmetra's teleporter interact range was increased from 1 meter to 1.5 meters. That's not that big of a deal. It's just a quality of life improvement. And with Torbjorn's rivet gun, the secondary fire damage per pellet was reduced from 12.5 to 10.5, which is 105 damage total per shot. And as they mentioned here, the combined damage output of Torbjorn's secondary fire with his overload ability was too high, given his recently increased survivability. The final major change in this PTR patch is a change to the way assault maps are played. Time awarded for capturing point A on all assault maps has been reduced from 4 minutes to 3 minutes, and upon losing point A, any defenders that are dead or that die shortly thereafter will have a maximum respawn of 3.5 seconds. I made an entire video just talking about this one change that went up on Monday, so I will link to that in the description if you want to check that out. It'll be there. But the other changes are all bug fixes and workshop updates. So if you want to check out any of those things, you can check out the full PTR patch notes in the description down below, as well as the full developer comments on any changes that were made. Next, we have an Overwatch League related story. In fact, the rest of the stories this week are all Overwatch League related, but we have skins in the game. From May 27th, to May 31st, every time you play a quick play or competitive match wearing a hero skin of your favorite team, you'll earn 1 point for that team. You can also play along on Twitter. Just send a tweet with hashtag MyOWLTeam and tag the account of your favorite team to earn a point for that team. It's that simple, and you can do it as many times as you want. We'll total all the points and announce the winning team on June 3rd. The winning Overwatch League team gets bragging rights, of course, and an Instagram takeover on @Overwatch League. And these are the rules. Points will only accrue in quick play and competitive, so while it's always cool to show your colors, you won't accumulate points in other modes. You must complete the map in order to get credit for your team. If the map goes to overtime, you still need to be there at the end. It is okay if you are eliminated during a match and need to switch to another hero, as long as your hero was in a team skin sometime during the match, and you complete that match, you'll get credit. For example, if you play Genji in an Atlanta Reign skin, but are eliminated and then switch to Hanzo in a non-team skin, you will still earn a point for the Atlanta Reign if you finish. You can wear either the home or away team skins, either earns a point. You can wear team skins for any hero. They all count. Atlantic and Pacific All-Star skins do not count, and this competition is open to all players in all regions on all platforms. And if you can't participate this time, they're planning to bring the Skins in the Game event back the week of July 15th through the 21st. And keep an eye on Twitter for updates on which teams are getting the most points from their fans. And I can give you a little update right now. Who is currently dominating? Who is winning right now? And at the current moment, we can look at the top. We have the Seoul Dynasty in first, the Hangzhou Spark in second, New York Excelsior in third. Then you have the Houston Outlaws, the LA Gladiators, the London Spitfire, the Toronto Defiant, the Dallas Fuel, the Shanghai Dragons, and the Philadelphia Fusion. So if you don't hear your team, well, you might want to get your team going. And if you do hear your team, and they're not the Seoul Dynasty, you might want to start supporting your team some more, bump them up a little bit more. And if you do hear your team, and it is the Seoul Dynasty, well, then you better keep that number one spot if you want it, because your team will get a takeover on the Overwatch League Instagram account. So that's something you want to see happen. Participate, obviously, if you have skins, wear them, do whatever you want. I haven't actually done it yet. I haven't started yet, but I'm planning on it, at least somewhat, to get some games in my NYXL skins. But we'll just have to wait and see what happens. So that's it for that story. The next story is a Overwatch League story, but a little bit more somber or a little bit more saddening. Overwatch League Commissioner Nanzer to join Epic Games. Overwatch League Commissioner Nate Nanzer announced Friday he will leave Activision Blizzard next week, being this week, of course, and Epic Games confirmed to ESPN that he will take a job overseeing competitive esports at Epic Games as his tenure with OWL ends. Nanzer announced his departure from Activision Blizzard on Twitter on Friday, saying, "Hey, Overwatch League family, I wanted to share that soon I will be leaving Blizzard for a new opportunity. This has been the toughest decision of my life because it means I won't get to work with the best staff, players, teams, owners, partners, and fans in esports anymore. I can't emphasize enough how proud I am of what we've all accomplished together. It has been the honor of my life to have been a part of the team that helped build the league of hashtag Breakthrough, hashtag Burn Blue, hashtag PDOMJNate, hashtag Capture History, hashtag OWL 2019, and many more. I get way too much credit for the success of the Overwatch League. It's been awesome to be our public face, but too many overestimate my role in making the league great. It isn't about me. It never has been. It's all about you. That's why I'm confident the league is in great hands. I can't wait to see where the team takes the Overwatch League in 2020 and beyond, and I'll be cheering right there alongside of you every step of the way." Former Fox Sports Executive Vice President Pete Vlastelica, who oversees all of Activision Blizzard's esports products, will be Nanzer's replacement. The Overwatch League confirmed on Friday. To which Vlastelica said, as president and CEO of Activision Blizzard Esports League, I am stepping in as Overwatch League commissioner effective immediately. We have the best team in the business working incredibly hard to realize the vision we set out to create years ago, and I'll be working very closely with our staff, the teams, and partners to do just that. And Epic Games released a statement following Nanzer's announcement, saying we're excited to welcome Nate to the Epic Games team, where he'll be working with us on competitive Fortnite. There's a couple other things that are mentioned here about all of the OWL stuff. If you want to read all of that, you can check that out here. It is a little interesting, a little bit upsetting for me that, the guy who's, running the Overwatch League is leaving for Fortnite, of all games. I personally, not a big Fortnite fan. So this, to me, is a little, hurts a little bit. Hits me in the heart a little bit, and I'm not the biggest fan. I'm not going to lie to you. But we'll see what happens. I think the league will be just fine, and I think Nate Nanzer doing his thing. You got to do what you got to do. We'll see where the league goes from here. We'll see how his career in Fortnite goes from here, and we'll just have to watch and see what happens from here on out. But obviously, thank you, Nate Nanzer, for everything you've done for the Overwatch League. Thank you for getting it to the point where it is now. Obviously, he said he doesn't, need all this credit, but the guy in charge, of course, deserves a lot of credit for making sure that it gets to the point that we're at now. So now that we're here, now that he's leaving, we know who we can thank for at least getting us to this point and steering the ship there, and we can look forward to how it goes from here on out. So thank you, Nate Nanzer. That is all for that story. Let's move on to the final story, which is about the Atlantic Showdown. Now, this past weekend, obviously, we had the Pacific Showdown, which did conclude. And I figured people probably want to hear a little something about it. So what happened? Who won? Who lost? What region gained a spot? What region lost a spot in the Pacific Showdown? And would anyone be surprised if I told you that South Korea won a spot? And would anyone be surprised if I told you that the grand finals was between two South Korean rosters, Element Mystic and O2 Blast, with Element Mystic winning the whole thing? The two regions that unfortunately lost the regional invites were China and Australia. Australia losing theirs with the loss by order, and China losing theirs by the loss of LGE Huya, who, interestingly enough, were actually the team that won Contenders China this past season, and they were one of the bottom two teams in the Pacific Showdown. So, that's the Pacific Showdown. Let's look ahead now at the Atlantic Showdown, where we have three regions represented: North America, South America, and Europe. So, when will this one be taking place? Well, like I said, it's this weekend. Where is it? It is in Krefeld, Germany. It'll be held at Take TV Studios, which is the place that hosted the first ever LAN after the game was officially released in May 2016. 3 days of nail-biting action will start on Friday, May 31st at 4 p.m. CEST, which is 7 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Brazilian Standard Time, with a total of 10 matches broadcast live on Twitch across the weekend. On Saturday, June 1st, the action starts again at 4 p.m. CEST, 7 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Brazilian Standard Time. And on Sunday, June 2nd, they are live an hour later at 5 p.m. CEST, 8 a.m. Pacific, 12 p.m. Brazilian Standard Time. So let's take a look at the teams competing. The first one is Low Key Esports, representing South America. And they are powered by the core of Brazil's national team. Um, they were the all-star squad from the South American region after dominating season one as undefeated champions. So it'll be interesting to see how they do. Obviously, very similar thing we see in Australia, where you kind of have super teams where members from the best teams all kind of come together to form a really good team, especially when you're going forward in something like this, where you have an event where you have to try to prove that you are the top team. This is the way you have to try to do it. We have Fusion University representing North America. They are the most decorated team coming to the Atlantic Showdown with 4 contenders titles to their name. And the one that they don't have is a Showdown win, because last year they lost to the British Hurricane. Next, we have the Angry Titans coming out of Europe. They are the home team. They are the reigning European champions. And they had to do that in 3 consecutive finals appearances. Now, we also have the other North American group or team. We have Atlanta Academy. Obviously, if you don't know, the NA is split into 2 regions, NA East and NA West. I believe Atlanta was NA West and Philly or Fusion University was NA East, even though technically both of those are on the East Coast. But that's not my problem. So we have Atlanta Academy. They were victorious in the tiebreaker match for second place in North America. So they're the only team bringing 2-way players to the Showdown. Atlanta certainly looking for big results. I'm sorry, no. Atlanta Academy was a second place team, but they got a bid as a result of that second place match. The other team from NA is Team Envy, the Dallas Fuel Academy team. The only thing that they did was lose 6 maps throughout the entirety of the season, and I believe they beat Fusion University to get that top seed for the North American teams. The final team is British Hurricane coming out of Europe, and the British Hurricane are the London Spitfire Academy team, and they are the reigning Atlantic Showdown title holders after beating Fusion University in 2018. So the 2 teams that have a bye for this one are Envy and Angry Titans, because they were the teams that won the 2 major regions represented in here, with Team Envy, of course, beating Fusion University in a tiebreaker. Low-key Esports will play British Hurricane, and Fusion University will play Atlanta Academy in the first round. Fusion University, Atlanta Academy have played a bunch. They played in, I believe, the either the 2018 Season 3 or 2019 Season 1 contenders finals for North America. So they are a team, or they're 2 teams that already have a little bit of history. So it'll be very exciting to see that one go down. Those are your 6 teams competing. I'm hoping that I can actually manage to watch some of the Atlantic Showdown. Didn't really get to watching any of the Pacific Showdown just because of the hours that it was at. But you have a great team casting this one. You have Jaws and Leg Day, and of course ZP and Avast, with Anna Chisdi, I don't know how to pronounce this name, who is also going to be there, I assume, doing interviews and all the sorts. So that is everything you need to know about the Atlantic Showdown. If you want to check out more, obviously I know I'm going through this pretty quickly. You can check it out in the description, but of course, just know that the team that finishes the best will earn their region an additional invite to the gauntlet later this year, while the 2 bottom teams will lose an invite for their region, which is unfortunate because half of the teams here are North American teams, so most likely North America is going to lose something, and we'll see. But the one problem with that, of course, is that you have something like Australia or South America, where if they don't perform well at these, you're not going to see them in the gauntlet. when you only get one team representing you. The chances of them then being represented later on are so slim that it's a shame. But we'll have to see, I guess, how this all turns out. But for now, I am going to get out of here. I'm sorry if this video is a little all over the place. A lot of long-winded things to read through today, so I apologize. But like I said, check out anything in the description if you want to see anything that I talked about and you want to see it in a little bit more detail or get a little more information on it. But I'm going to get out of here. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, consider liking and subscribing, especially if you want more content like this in the future. But I'm going to get out of here. Thank you once again, and I'll see you all next time.